Welcome to Sharpening Supplies. Welcome back to another Sharpening Chat. And today I'm going to be asking a question that I've been wondering for a while. Why don't people sharpen their knives? So I think for me personally, I used to not sharpen mainly because I was lazy. So I think that probably rings true for a few of you. But I'm wondering if there are any other reasons that you guys are aware of for why people don't sharpen.
I mean, I think number one is even before lazy is they just don't know how to sharpen. I think it's an intimidating process if you've never done it before. And guys like Dan are really here to help them.
Absolutely. Yeah. But no, I'd agree with that. People, average person with a knife, it gets dull. They have no idea what to do about that or the options available. That some easy, some hard that could do it for them.
I think, when you're talking, I think the other one that I think is big that we, sometimes can forget is it's not just that they don't know how to sharpen, it's that they don't know that it's really dull.
This is true. Yeah, I think a lot of people get a knife and just figure, oh, it's sharp. It'll be sharp indefinitely.
Right, I think because it's such a gradual process going from sharp to truly dull that you can probably cook 3 or 4 meals with a knife, not too intensively and before it really needs sharpening. But then after that, you should sharpen it. But or you disagree?
No, I mean I think that when it goes from sharp, I mean I absolutely agree. It's a gradual process from being really sharp to dull. Most people that I meet that have a truly dull knife, it's not a couple of meals. It's years.
Right.
I mean, so many people get a knife or a knife block for a wedding gift. So 1 year after they're married, they still have knives that maybe can be used. 5 years later, nothing but dull knives in the kitchen.
Great if you're cutting butter.
Yeah.
If your knives are dull, this will be a good excuse. Is that there's quite a lot of cheap knives out there that they're not going to hold an edge for particularly long anyway. And so, if your knives are dull, you might need to sharpen it a little bit more with it if you've got a cheaper knife. So we've got laziness. We've got people don't know how, and then don't realize that it's gotten blunt. Are there any other reasons that we think people don't sharpen?
They don't have access to something easy to do. I suppose that's kind of laziness, but if you've got one of these on your counter, sharpening is really quick and easy. If you've got to go to a different room, dig out your stones and all that kind of stuff, it's a big chore.
Yeah. But access to a sharpening option is one, and I think that part of that is there are a lot of options available, and again, and are here to help you figure out which one might be best for your needs. But it can be overwhelming, which option to go for to sharpen your knives. And we've got articles that will help you and videos as well. So we've got laziness, don't have access to sharpening materials. They don't know that their knife is blunt and they don't know how to sharpen. So if we start with access would be an easy one for us. We would fix that by you visit us, give us a call, give us an email, and we'll help find something for you, to use. But then if people want to learn how to sharpen, what's the best way do we think for going about that?
Honestly, I think just to do it.
Yeah.
Even an unskilled sharpener new at the game can improve a knife. We think of it as achieving perfection. Well, that's great, but you don't always need to. Just making the knife better than it was is good.
Yeah, I mean the number of knives that I've seen that are so dull that you could use, you could use the spine of the knife versus the cutting edge, and it would not suffer any performance degradation. But when a knife is that dull, there's nothing that you could do to make it duller. I mean, as long as you tried something, it would be better. I think the other, maybe another point that we didn't bring up is that sort of the fear of doing something wrong.
Right.
I think that, I know when you're talking to customers,
Yes.
When I've talked to customers, they don't want to do something wrong. They have an expensive knife,
They're worried about ruining.
Yeah, they're worried about ruining it. I mean, I'm not sure that a knife can be any more ruined than being totally dull. I mean,
Yeah, short of breaking it in half, which honestly is not easy to do, not something you're going to just do by mistake while you're sharpening.
right.
You can't really ruin a knife. The worst you can do is put some stray marks on it, and maybe you're concerned about appearance, but you're not going to make it so it's no longer usable as a knife.
Right. I mean, if you sharpen at the wrong angle, dull is much worse than the wrong angle.
Yeah.
But I think that you will learn something in the process if you're, certainly we have a lot of material that would help you learn the process.
Absolutely.
Aside from access and then learning, we've also got like the fear, and the fear kind of like getting over that kind of ties in with learning just through practice. Like, and there's also options, like these are really easy to use. So, they're relatively gentle on the steel. There's not much of a learning curve. Stones are great. Like, I think we're all fans of stones as being like the pinnacle of sharpening, but there's a learning curve. And like, it's pretty easy to improve, but to get like an excellent edge is where it starts to get a bit tricky. But we're all sharpening nerds, and so like that's kind of like when you get obsessive about it. But if you've got a blunt kitchen knife and you just want it a little bit sharper,
I mean, that's part of what I do and our other specialists do. When someone calls in and starting from scratch is one of the first things I find out is not only what's their experience, what's their expectation. If all they want is a decently sharp knife in their kitchen, well, something like a chef's choice, we'll do that very quickly, very easily, almost no learning curve.
Right.
If they're looking for a really superior edge, then we start moving to other machines or stones and kind of get a feel for what's their willingness to throw themselves into sharpening, what's their expectation of sharpening. And, for everybody, there is a match somewhere in that kind of spectrum.
Yeah, like a sharpening stone. I mean, you're committed to learning the process.
Yes.
And I think that, when we're speaking to customers, that is what they want to achieve. They're interested in learning the process and
learning the skill for its
yeah,
own sake.
yeah, and that skill is applicable to tools, and if that's something that you do. But if you're just focusing on kitchen knives, certainly a stone, it is the most challenging, but it is the this process, the skill to learn.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's great. So if you'd let us know in the comments why, like, if you don't sharpen your knives, why don't you sharpen your knives? Is it one of the reasons we've discussed, or is it, one that we didn't? Let us know in the comments below. If you're interested in sharpening your knives or improving, then you can contact us. You can email or call, or you can, leave a comment on any of our social media channels. And if you want to actually get some things to sharpen, you can visit us at sharpeningsupplies.com.
Well, I mean, we didn't really address the fact that they may not have a sharpener at all. I mean, that's even.
I mean, people don't have sharpeners?
Yeah.
If I had it my way, there would be a sharpener in every home.
Absolutely.
Just the one sharpener?
No, I mean many sharpeners.
Yeah.
Many, yes. I mean, probably one for each room. For each knife.
For each family member.
Yeah. So I mean,
Baby's first sharpening stone.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic gifts for babies.
I mean, monogrammed too, can't you?
For the right price, I think anything's possible.